everybody. We're back again to talk some more football. We're in knee-deep in football season now. We got the NFL going on, and we also have college football. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to do a little recap. We have already finished week 3. We're already 3 weeks done. Man, it's flying by. But we're going to do a little recap on week 3 for you, and then we're going to jump into week 4 and do some predictions. We'll do some winners and losers from week 3, and then we'll talk about who we think the winners and losers are for week 4.
Yep.
But we'll go ahead and jump in. We'll talk about the top 15 when it comes to college football. So we'll jump out to, who is number 1? I forgot. Alabama's number 1. That's a shocker, ain't it?
This time, though, it has a little twist. It was a competition.
It was a competition. Alabama played Florida. Florida put up a bigger fight than I thought they would. It was actually just a 2-point win, 31-29.
Escaped on the road, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were in the swamp, which makes it a little tougher. Florida's hard to beat in the swamp, no matter who you are. And Alabama doesn't play Florida every year like they do Tennessee.
So they're not used to.
They're not used to going to the swamp. They're not used to Florida. So that made it a tough game. But honestly, I think that might be Alabama's toughest game the whole rest of the year until they get to Georgia. And then Georgia will probably be ahead in the third quarter.
And choke
the game away. And then Alabama will win it. But anyways, Alabama won 31-29. Number 2, Georgia took on South Carolina
and beat the snot out of them.
Yeah, 40-13.
Do you want cooked chicken? Anybody
there
want
was
cooked
some
chicken?
Cooked chicken. They were having some cooked chicken, yeah. Because that game was in Georgia, too. So
with a grad transfer at quarterback for the Gamecocks. No comprende.
No, it did not work out very well, no. We had number 3, Oklahoma, playing Nebraska.
Driving the struggle bus against Nebraska.
Yeah, they were driving the struggle bus. Nebraska is not really a good team. Not really. And
I want to talk about that interception that one guy made.
Was that not? That might be
crazy.
The play of the year. And it doesn't matter what else happens the rest of the year.
He grabbed it like this and covered it.
He out Odell'd Odell.
That was a crazy
as a pick. So it was a DB did it. So he's not even supposed to be able to catch the ball.
But he caught that from back here
Superman
and wound it up, and in midair, all at once, wound it up in full motion and put it under his arm.
And that was probably the final nail in Nebraska's coffin, because they were driving. That was sort of deep into Oklahoma's territory too.
And then they threw that incredible pick. That's the play of the year so far.
That's probably the play of the last 5 years. The last good thing we had like that was Jadeveon Clowney knocking that Michigan guy's helmet off.
That's still amazing.
That's still an amazing awesome play. This is the next one since that one, really. That was just an incredible play.
So you're saying that DJ Graham interception is on the same level as that Jadeveon Clowney hit?
I think it is, yes. I think it'll be one that you'll go, oh, yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. It doesn't matter, yeah. We had number 4, Oregon, playing poor little old Stony Brook.
They got stoned.
48-7.
They got quacked out of the building.
They got quackers.
Quacked.
41 to quacked. They got beat by 41 points. That wasn't really much of a contest. Poor little Stony Brook. I think they're out of
FCS.
Yeah, they're in like New York, New Jersey, somewhere over through there. They're up towards
and they have to fly all the way to Oregon,
and just to get the crap kicked out of you. So yeah, that was pretty bad. We had Iowa at number 5 taking on Kent State.
Kent State turned into Int State.
Yes. How many was it there?
Quite a few turnovers. Iowa forced a lot of turnovers. Their defense.
And Iowa's offense still doesn't look great, though.
Yeah.
They only scored 30 points on Kent State with all of those turnovers. So Iowa right now is number 5. I'm not convinced they're going to stay there. Let's just put it that way.
Because,
number 5 the rest of the season.
There's a couple of pesky teams in that Big Ten right now.
That might come up to get them. Yeah, we had number 6, Clemson. Clemson has fallen down to number 6. And they were also driving a struggle bus.
That's probably the bumpiest struggle bus I've seen since, Oklahoma drove a struggle bus, but this has a struggle bus plus 2 blown tires.
Yes, because they played Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is that close to being an FCS team this year. They're really that bad. And it was 14-8. Clemson almost lost
at
to
home
to Georgia Tech, who is really Georgia Tech's having their worst year in the past 20 years.
Yep.
They're bad. And man, Clemson went in there and almost just
flatline
laid the egg. Yeah. We had Texas A&M taking on New Mexico. Texas A&M
beat the crap out of New Mexico.
Yeah, they've been struggling a little bit. They needed a little pick me up, and
especially with the upcoming game at Arkansas, which is a bit of a spoiler for the next point.
Yeah, we'll be doing some winners and losers with that because that's coming up this week. That will be a fantastic game. So they definitely needed a little pick me up, a little feel good. So New Mexico gave it to them by scoring 0 and letting them have 34.
That's the goose egg formula.
Cincinnati went into a Big Ten team, Indiana,
and beat them by 14.
But Cincinnati did struggle a little bit. They started out a little slow. It took till the second half for them to really get going. But yeah, if you beat somebody by 14 in their place,
that's convincing enough to the committee, especially in the next couple of weeks. Cincinnati has a bye week this upcoming week to prepare for Notre Dame.
And that will be a fantastic game coming up. We had number 9. Ohio State has dropped down to number 9 after losing at home last week
to Oregon.
And they took on Georgia.
They took on Tulsa.
They took on Tulsa.
A winless Tulsa. Okay, this is the most baffling part.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State was only up by 7 in the fourth quarter before they pulled away and made it look different than what it really was.
Yeah, it was 41-20, but it was 27-20 late in the fourth.
And they had Ohio State. Their defense is continuing to be a problem even after changing who's calling the defense. It hasn't helped. They've gave up 470 passing yards to Tulsa.
To Tulsa?
Tulsa.
How many?
470 something passing yards to Tulsa.
That's really bad.
They need to work on that. My gosh.
I mean, 370 is bad. 470 is
atrocious.
Horrible. That's horrible. Penn State is number 10. Took on Auburn. Auburn, number 22, came out.
Big game, James.
Hey, that's 2 in a row he's won.
2 big games in a row. What is this?
Has Big Game James actually turned into Big Game James? Maybe. But I'm not going to hold my breath.
Penn State's off to a good start.
They are off to a good start. They're top 10, and they've beat the teams they needed to beat. So you can't say anything about them now.
Especially going into the meat of the Big Ten schedule.
Which is coming up really, really, really soon, yeah. Like we mentioned earlier, number 11 was Florida, who lost a squeaker to Alabama. And number 12 was not in action. So we had number 13, which is UCLA.
Or UC. The stale chips.
The chips have went stale in Southern California.
It only took a week.
We went from UCLA is back to
UCLA.
What the crap?
They took on State Part 2.
They took on Fresno State
and crapped the bed
and at home and lost 40-37. They gave up 40 points to Fresno State.
Yeah, they're a Mountain West team.
They gave up 40 points to a Mountain West team and took the L. So they went from, UCLA's coming back. Man, Chip Kelly might actually, this is his 4th year. They might actually have some, oh no, it's going down and it's the Titanic again, So
Notre Dame did play.
Notre Dame? Oh, they did play. I completely skipped number 12, Notre Dame. Oops. No, Notre Dame played Purdue. It wasn't beautiful, but they won by 14.
Hasn't that been the tale of their season?
They haven't beat anybody really strong. I'm really looking forward to seeing that Cincinnati Notre Dame game.
In a couple of weeks. It's not next week.
No, Cincinnati is not Alabama.
No,
but I think they'll give Notre Dame. I'm just really looking forward to seeing that. Going to like I said, we talked about number 13 UCLA looking horrible, and then we had Iowa State taking on UNLV. They needed this too. They needed.
They got the spanking they needed.
Yeah, because
they gave the spanking to UNLV. They got that needed spanking win.
Yeah, because Iowa State was looking a little And they
then,
and they finally got that one. They definitely needed it. Well, I don't know how good a team they're going to be in the end. I don't know. But they got the good win that they needed. Number 15 was, you hear me say it, was Virginia Tech, because they lost.
To West Virginia.
27-21.
And we predicted that.
We predicted that, and that wasn't a bad win for them. West Virginia's a tough team. They were at West Virginia. It used to be a rival game when they used to play before West Virginia went
to the Big 12.
I still don't understand how the West Virginia's in the Big 12. But anyways, that wasn't a bad loss for them. I don't think they'll drop out of the top 25 by any means. But we did sort of think that was going to happen. And that is our top 15 games. Now we'll go ahead and jump on in to week 4, because we got some pretty good games coming up.
In week 4, there's a lot of good games.
There are a lot of good games. First of all, we've got Alabama, which is number 1 again. That didn't change. Taking on Southern Miss.
Is that supposed to be a good game?
No, that is their warm. I mean, they had Florida last week, so this is their cream puff week. They're favored.
So they get to beat the crap out of Southern Miss.
They're favored by 45.
Jeez.
40.
Do you take that?
That is 6 touchdowns and a field goal. They're favored by 6 touchdowns.
Dear Lord.
And a 3-point field goal.
I know they've been really good over the past decade, but jeez.
Yeah, 45's a lot for me. I'm sort of afraid of that one. I love Alabama, but 45, that's a lot of points. Of course, we think Alabama's going to win that one. That shouldn't be much of a problem. And then we got Georgia taking on just about the same. Georgia's going to Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt is a horrible, 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 horrible team.
Yeah, Georgia's favored by 35 against a in-conference opponent. How bad is that? I mean, if it was Southern Mix, Mississippi State or something, you could understand 35. But an in-conference game, you're by 35. That just tells you how bad Vanderbilt is. Of course, we think Vanderbilt will win, and honestly, they might beat them by 35. Vanderbilt is that bad. We got number 3, which is Oregon. Oregon has jumped up to number 3. Honestly, it's good to see Oregon back in the top 5 again. I like a little Oregon Duck,
Yep, and Mario Cristobal, the head coach, the Super Mario brother, has brought Oregon back.
Yeah, Super Mario at the Oregon has brought the Ducks back. And
they got that fire flower power up.
They are playing a incompetent Arizona team.
We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, Arizona's having a bad year. You could say they're 0-3.
You could say that. We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, we'll talk about Arizona here in just a bit. But Oregon is favored. Man, these first 3, Oregon's favored by 28.5 on this one.
I'm going to take that because Arizona has shown me that they have been awful this year.
Arizona is awful. Number 4 is Oklahoma. They jumped up to number 4. We've got them taking on West Virginia.
That should be the first conference game that Oklahoma plays, and that might give them a competition.
Yeah, Oklahoma's favored by 17. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it's just a single-digit win.
I think it is.
They played Nebraska close, so why really pick a double-digit win?
Yeah, West
here?
Virginia coming off of a win. Still though, 17 points is a little much for me on that one. I think Oklahoma's still going to win, like you said. It's probably going to be a 7 to 10 point game, probably. But 17.
Yeah, that's a little
That's a little strong. So
I'll
probably take a little West Virginia plus 17 on that one and just see what happens with it. We got number 5 is still Iowa. They didn't go up or down. They're taking on a bad Colorado State game.
A bad top. Well, that just screams beatdown.
Favored by 23.5.
That just screams an Iowa beatdown.
I was still struggling offensively, so that 23.5 scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty. I mean, I think it
so
probably will be 20.
We're not talking about Alabama tier beatdown?
No, we're talking about an Iowa tier beatdown, Not Alabama. We're SEC, not SEC beatdown. We're talking about the Big Ten beatdown, So it's a little more defense in there. And then, but anyways, yeah. We definitely will take Iowa in that. No kidding. We got Penn State is up to number 6.
And they're playing a basketball school.
They're playing Nova. Yeah, is that a basketball team? Is that a basketball game? Well, they would have a basketball game put into the football schedule, wouldn't they? Hey, Nova's actually 3-0. I don't know anything about them.
Big game, James.
But they're 3-0.
I don't think this is a big game, though.
No, I think Penn State wins this pretty easily, though. We will jump to number 7. This might be one. This might be
the game of the week.
Texas A&M has settled at number 7 there. They're taking on the up-and-coming, rising fast Arkansas team,
Razorbacks,
which are ranked number 16.
Do you pick the Gigamaggies or do you pick the Whoopig Sueys?
A&M is -5.5. I'm picking upset.
You want to pick the Hogs?
Straight up upset. Not even the spread. I think Arkansas wins the game straight up. I could be wrong here. Just got a little feeling. But I think
you got a feeling that Arkansas is going to continue their rise?
They have looked. If they would have started out the season at number 16, they'd be in the top 5 right now.
Yep.
So that's where you would put them if the preseason poll would have put them in the middle of the pack.
Yep.
So we would have had like number 5 Arkansas taking off number 7 Texas A&M.
That would have been a big theater popcorn.
Yeah. And I think that's how big this game is to Arkansas. If they win this game, they are top 10.
They would have to be because this is one of the best chances they have.
So
they're on a long losing streak to Texas A&M, and Texas A&M is having a quarterback trouble.
Texas A&M has struggled this year. I mean, they've beat some bad teams.
But they've only beat Colorado a couple weeks ago by 3.
They struggled against the only team that was decent. And honestly, they have not had high-level competition at all this entire year.
Arkansas will be the test. Arkansas will be the test.
Will be their first test of a really good team. So, I'm taking Arkansas plus 5.5.
You want to take the Hogs?
I'm taking the Hogs, baby. Okay, we'll jump on into number 8. Where is number 8?
Cincinnati is off. They're number.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cincinnati's number 8 this week, so they're off. So we'll just go ahead and jump on into Clemson, who is
driving
number 9.
Driving the struggle bus against NC State.
Yeah, they're going to NC State, and they're only favored by 10. That tells you something.
Clemson looks different this year. Is it the Trevor Lawrence effect? Is it the Travis Etienne effect?
Something is not right there, is it?
Dabo Swinney needs to fix
Is it the Amari Rodgers effect? They did lose like
a lot of talent.
Their whole offense. All of their scoring went boop.
They went to the NFL and without a trace.
Yep. So honestly, that's a scary game. They're favored by 10.
They're on the road.
They're on the road at NC State. Honestly, from what I'm seeing lately, I might take NC State plus 10 just because I'm afraid of what Clemson is. Honestly, I don't know what they are. Do you know what Clemson is yet?
They're a low-scoring team.
They're a low-scoring team that struggled against Georgia Tech last week.
They couldn't.
At home.
And
now they're on the road against the NC State team. This NC State team is not bad. They're 10 times better than Georgia Tech.
Yeah, NC State at least have some sort of functionality.
So I'll probably take a little plus 10 on that one, just because I just don't know how good they are. Ohio State is at number 10.
You better hope, for all the Buckeye fans out there, you better hope.
They're taking on the Akron Zips.
They need to make sure they get off to a big lead and not give up a ton of yards.
They're favored by 48.5.
I'm worried about their defense because they gave up all those passing yards to an 0-2 Tulsa team.
Mm-hmm. So this is a 1-2 Akron team. Now, the Akron team is pretty bad.
The Akron's pretty bad, so they should.
They should. 48.5.
You should.
I'm staying away from that. I am not getting anywhere near that 48.5.
The Ohio State should take care of them easy.
Have they scored 48.5 yet this year? Ohio State. You know, I'm going to actually look at that. Has Ohio State? What have they actually scored this year?
What has Ohio State actually scored this year?
They've scored 45, 28, and 41. They've not even scored 48.5 yet this year. So, I don't know. See that one actually scares me. If I was forced to lay money on it, I would take Akron plus 48.5 because Ohio State hasn't scored 48.5 yet. And if they give up 10 points, they got to score 58.5. So I would stay away from that one. But if I was forced to,
That's kind of shocking considering we're talking about the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Well, they have struggled. They had a really good team last year, and now this year, like Clemson, they've taken a step back. Number 11 is Florida taking on our Tennessee Volunteers,
which has been up and down for our team. Let me tell you that. But we're going to Gainesville,
and we're going to lose. The line actually opened at 20. It's at 19 right now. I would take Florida minus 19.
You would take the Gators plus 19?
I think it's a 47-13 game. I think they'll beat us by 30.
Ouch.
So, yeah.
Isn't that normal for a Tennessee fan to feel that way sometimes about, at least nowadays?
Do you think I'm wrong?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I will take me some Florida minus 19 there and actually be pretty happy with it. Another one of our games of the week. Notre Dame's got 2 tests in a row. They're going to
They're not traveling to Wisconsin. They're going to play them at Soldier Field.
Well, yeah, but that's pretty close. Illinois is just right there, so that'll actually be a really good game to watch.
Interesting.
I like Soldier Field. So we've got Notre Dame, number 12, taking on number 18, Wisconsin.
This will be their first true test for the Fighting Irish. Can they pull out against the Badgers?
No, I think Wisconsin wins.
You think Wisconsin wins?
Yeah, I do. I think it'll be a straight up win on that one. Might even be by 7 points or more.
Ouch.
Yes, I think it might be. I think it might be 10 points.
Ouch.
Because I just don't have the faith in that Notre Dame. They have been on the
struggle bus.
They've been on the rainbow bus. They've been really lucky, man. They've had that pot of gold sitting there that they just snatched out at the end of the games here lately. They should have lost
to Florida State
every game they played so far. They just sort of, the luck of the Irish, the little pot of gold there at the end. They go wee, and then they win the game. And I don't think it happens against Wisconsin. I think we will have us an upset there. We'll go on down to number 13. Who is number 13? Number 13 is not playing this week. So we will jump to number 14, which is our good old buddies, Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Yeah.
It's complicated to really see what kind of team they are.
Yeah.
Because of
Again, this is a trap game too. They're going to Baylor,
which is a conference game, and those games are important to win.
And Baylor hasn't showed that they're fantastic this year, but they're undefeated. They're 3-0.
And
Iowa State's not 3-0.
But do you want to pick Iowa State or do you want to pick an upset?
I don't know. Iowa State is -7. What do you think?
I might pick the Cyclones.
They should.
They should.
But this is a trap game. Coming off of a win, going away to someone's home, they're undefeated, you're favored by 7 on the road. Don't be surprised if this is a trap game. And then number 15 this week is BYU jumping up to number 15 for the first time this year.
The Cougars.
They are 3-0, and they're taking on the South Florida Bulls.
And
it's stakes tonight, boys. They go eat some Bulls. Yeah, BYU should beat them. I got you, probably 25 to 30 points. Maybe 30 points, honestly.
BYU heading into the Big 12, looking to join the Big 12 with a lot of momentum.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'm looking forward to that. BYU's in the area. I think that would be a good ad for them. I still am just become confounded about West Virginia being over there from here to there, but
that's crazy.
That's crazy. But
imagine driving from Utah all the way to West Virginia.
I wish the SEC would have stolen West Virginia with Texas and Oklahoma. West Virginia would have fit in so well into the SEC. It would make some good rival games, because they're really close to a bunch of us. South Carolina and West Virginia, Tennessee and West Virginia, Kentucky and West Virginia. All of those would have been Vanderbilt. All those would have been good rival games. But hey, that's it for college football this week.
Stinker of the week.
Oh yeah, who is? We like to do our stinker of the week. Who we think was just horrible this week.
Our winner this week is Arizona.
Arizona. We mentioned earlier that Arizona was sort of pathetic this year.
Do you want to know the level of patheticness that Arizona as a football team has?
What did they do?
Lost to an FCS team at home while losing on a 2-point conversion. Their quarterback has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns this year. And he threw more interceptions than touchdowns than he did against Northern Arizona at home.
Jeez.
And they're on a 19-game losing streak stretching 2 seasons.
Oh, my God. Who's their coach?
They just got a new coach, and they lost to an FCS team.
Yep, that might be our stinker of the week. That was all. That's bad.
Arizona is not just bad; they're hideously bad.
Yeah, and they've been decent in the past.
How did it rot so badly over there?
19 straight losses.
Counting back to not just 1 season, but count 'em, kids, 2 seasons.
My goodness gracious! Imagine if your favorite team was 0-19.
That's terrible.
Oh,
that's
and
just
19.
terrible.
I mean, you got 3 cream puffs a year that you pour in there,
And they still lost.
and the cream puffs beat you.
But man, Arizona must be the creamiest of all of them.
They must be a bigger cream puff than the cream puffs they're bringing in,
And a bigger dumpster fire than we expected.
That is horrible. Yep. But Arizona's definitely our stinker of the week. So that is our football for the week.
Yep.
Be sure and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
The groovy baby button.
Share us with your friends. Let your friends know how stupid we
Spread
are.
the love.
Hit the groovy baby button. Other than that, we'll see you next time.
See you next week.